Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mike the Minifans. We got a great show planned. Nothing much really happened this week, so there's not a lot to talk about. But we'll try to make it work. Let's meet our esteemed panel. First up, we got a group of good guys here. We got Robbie V. Hello, Robbie V. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, no problem. Happy to be on.
All right. And next we got Danny, who's looking rather dapper there in that suit right there.
That's right. Thank you to Milton's. I'm all dressed up for Mutt's funeral.
And finally, we got our.
I was hoping the bit would work the second time.
I liked it. I thought it was good. And then we got Sig. Sig, what's up, man?
What's going on?
All right. And
I'm lagging.
Okay. Well, Sig is lagging. Fax will be joining us soon. He had a little bit of technical issues he's working out, but once he gets back, he will be the host tonight, and he has some great topics. But I will start it off, and I think what everybody wants to talk about right now, the big issue, Steve from Gloucester just
so you might want to put me in the
come out. No, I'm just kidding. So I guess we're going to start off. Fax has a whole new format and everything that he's going to do eventually, but I'm going to start it off with the chronological order, I guess. And let's just get.
Hello.
Oh, Fax is here there.
You can
Fax,
hear me?
right. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I fixed it. Oh, my goodness.
Woo.
What a fucking mess, guys.
I was saving dead air right there. I was just like, yeah, great show. Things are happening. Stuff like that. All right, we're good to go.
I mean, yeah, we had a lot of shit come through this week. I think the biggest things, obviously for me, my hardest point of contention was trying to figure out what was bigger. So I don't know if you guys want to go through, and based on what's bigger, that's what we'll talk about first. So obviously, everything with Mutt, I think just the pile of shit that Mutt went through over the past week, for me, might be just a little bit bigger. Because Cullinan's back, and that was a surprise to everybody. But I'm just not sure how you guys want to level that out. Robbie, if you want to start us off, which one you think is kind of like the bigger deal of the KMS show over the past week?
Probably Mutt. I mean, it's just started like when he was at Saratoga. I mean, it's still ongoing now. I mean, it's left a lot of people speechless, to tell you that. I mean, and just the decision and what went into it. Even Mutt stack today, just kind of feel like there's more to the story. But that's just me. That's just that's what I think.
Yeah, Danny, what did you think?
Well, I agree with Robbie. Although Robbie, I mean, your catchphrase is "loyalty is everything." Isn't this the ultimate show of loyalty?
It is, but okay, so it is, right? But when you combine family, when you literally have an offer from Dave Portnoy at Barstool Sports, you have the audience that he's going to have. You have the reach and the pull to do whatever you want. I mean, and look, Mohegan has had Mutt's words, 14 years to get this to him, to give this to him through loyalty. And you have Dave coming within something. Mohegan's had 14 years, and Dave's, and this is where he's at. And like with family and whatnot, and it was life-changing money from what I understand, from what I've heard, and I think that was what Dave said. I think you have to make the jump. That's just me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of saw the same thing too, because when you were talking about loyalty, that was my first thought. It was just, all right, loyalty to this fucking casino or loyalty to your wife and kids, and that's where the weight of it is outweighed by far, because it's kind of like, all right, am I going to do this because I promised I do it to them, or am I just going to take care of my family? And if like they were saying on the Unnamed show, if they don't get that, that's their fucking problem. It's a show to their character. So,
I was definitely playing devil's advocate there a little bit, but I agree. In the end, it's just it still comes down to the fact this is potentially being offered a full-time job with a lot of other things that could come from it in the future, versus something that's 10 weeks long, and maybe if they extend it, it's going to be the whole football season. But then what happens after that? I mean, maybe it continues on for perpetuity throughout every sports season, but it's still not nearly the platform that you have with Barstool, and I just don't see the same level of earning potential. But I think there's a factor that we don't necessarily know about. I mean, I identify with Blind Mike when he was on, like, just trying to, Rob, you did this on Monday in studio, just trying to find every ounce in my heart to any way to defend Mutt, because I'm a huge fan of the guy. I'm a maiden voyage Mutt guy from day one with Merloni, and always been a fan and want to see the guy do well. I was excited to see him as part of the world, and it's like what are we doing here? Like, what's going on? It just seems to be some sort of a block. And I agree, loyalty goes a long, long way, but at some point, Rob's right. You got to be loyal to your family, to your livelihood. And again, maybe there's a whole factor here we still don't really know, but I still feel like we're missing a piece.
There has to be. I just feel like there has to be too. Yeah, we have to be missing a piece. I don't know. Sig, what did you think as far as this? I guess it's kind of decided that the Mutt situation was really the big thing based on how much happened. We'll get to Coley right after this, but Sig, how are you feeling about Mutt and kind of what's your overall generic take on how things happened? Oh, I can't hear a fuck thing you're saying, dude. You got to turn up.
Now?
There you go.
Yeah.
So I think no, he's just an idiot, and I just don't understand why.
Whoa.
You're like in and out here. Hold on. Fuck with that for a little bit. PRC, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the night tech. But yeah, no. I think Robbie and Danny are spot on about what they're saying, especially with the loyalty thing, because I mean loyalty is everything, like Robbie's saying, but there has to be a balance, because if you're loyal to Mohegan's son, like they were saying, then you got to think about all the people then you're turning your back on, who you're being disloyal to. And I think, if especially with family and everything, that's an elevated thing, and I think that raises it up. So while loyalty is a thing, it's more so like being able to provide for your family and a long-term steady job and stuff like that is a big deal.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I mean, overall too, with this new show, like everyone's kind of been saying it from the beginning, and I feel like we're just going to essentially re-emphasize the point, but there's no way it's going to be lifted up to this resounding success that they may think it's going to, especially with this fucking Aiton dude. He seems pretty like...
Yeah, but do you think Mutt really thinks it's going to be like a big thing, or he's just doing this for a paycheck? Like, I don't think I haven't heard him really claim like, oh yeah, we're going to outshow the Robbie V and like outplay, all these other shows. That's my only thing.
Yeah, Coley made the point the other day. Coley's like, the show's going to suck, and Mutt knows it. I think Kirk said the same thing. And it's hard to argue with that. I mean, it's going to be a straight up, sports show, and sports gambling, which will be fine. But this Eton guy just seems absolutely obnoxious. I have a hard time. And Mutt can give him some shit, but and he promised a little bit of that in the Mutt Stack today. Like the guy saying on the unnamed show, the guy's a moron. I'm gonna push back. I think Kirk mentioned he'll do it in his little Mutt way. Like he used to do with Lou, but it's not going to be the same level that we're used to as Minifans, and people are going to continue to go after him on Twitter. So we'll kind of see what happens.
Oh, yeah, him trying to push back was stupid. No, go ahead, PRC.
No, yeah, that's my bet. But I think that goes, Danny, don't you think that goes to like a point that we're missing something? Like a piece of this whole puzzle is still hasn't connected. The fact that like he knows it, we know it, everybody knows that that was not the right decision, but yet he's still doing it, is just like, it goes to Danny and Robbie's point, in my opinion, that like there is a puzzle piece that is missing to this.
Yeah, and I think it's like an anxiety for like he doesn't want to step outside his comfort zone and like doing something that maybe doesn't have like a job description. He needs it like spelled out for him, and I think he gets worried that he's not creative enough.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so is it something as simple as anxiety, or is it something like that Coley posted? So Coley posted a Reddit post for everyone who didn't know over the weekend, over the past day. And in that Reddit post, someone had just essentially said that he had gotten in trouble with gambling debts with his Mohegan casino, and in order to pay it back, he was doing this show. And then Coley himself said that's 100% true. Is that a troll? Do y'all think there is any truth to that whatsoever, or any similar situation? Or do you think it is like what Sig is saying, just a pure anxiety? I think I need to do this on my own so bad that I'm just going to risk my whole career to prove that I can be self-sufficient. I don't know what you guys think about that. Robbie, what do you think?
I hope not. I mean,
which part?
No, I mean, I hope he's obviously, he's not, Mohegan doesn't have him by the neck.
Yeah.
But with Coley, but Coley put out, hey, it's 100%.
Consider the source. I mean, if this was, Montante's left nut on Twitter, whatever, he's just somebody throwing something out there, which sounds like one of the guys that signed up for the golf tournament, by the way. But when you look at, who's doing it, I mean, Colonnade wouldn't just cast aspersions completely unfounded unless he's just really fucking around. But that's getting into the level of areas you don't fuck around. I mean, you heard the divorce thing come up again. So it came up twice this week with both Colonnade and Kirk. People asking about that. And obviously that's an uncomfortable situation, something where even this show, it's getting into the gray area about, is that something you joke around on or not? You start to get into, accusations of, significant gambling debt and being potentially, in trouble with a giant casino or a corporation or a bookie or anything like that. That's next level accusations. And, one that I think, sure, we could still joke because that's what we do, but it starts to get a little bit too real, maybe, so I wonder.
Yeah. And I mean, I think people are kind of saying, oh, it sounds ridiculous because, when you're in debt with the casino, what are they going to do? Break your fucking kneecaps or make you do fucking podcasts like some of the comments are saying? But the way that I would see it, or the way that I'm seeing it, if that were something to be true, because obviously the whole post was just a movie plot. I forget because I hadn't read it in like a day. But if there was something like gambling debt with somebody like Mutt, and you could say, hey, wait, hold on, I can generate revenue if I do this thing because I have a notable name in this specific area, that could make sense. But to me, I feel like it's all just kind of like the dude was just trying to be stupid and say something stupid. So I do hope it's not something that serious is like a gambling debt because, then your loyalty is kind of, I don't know, not your own. You don't really get to decide who you put your loyalty to because that's where your debt is.
They were
But just like objectively thinking about it, like just it sounds like you go, oh, okay, I don't know if there's actually that thing going on or the gambling debt going on, but like in that world, like would a casino give a marker of that much debt to somebody that didn't have a job or like I'm thinking like you're filling out like a credit report. It feels like a movie. Like someone gets a gambling debt and then they have to go work at the casino to pay off their debt. I don't in reality to someone who's more into gambling, is that even a feasible thing? I don't feel like they would give a marker to somebody.
I was wondering the same thing, PRC. I think you're right to an average, private citizen, no. But to go back to this point that Mutt talks about his loyalty to Mohegan dating back pre-2010 before even Mutt and Merlone. And he's, he mentions people by name, like he has connections there, Bobby Barack or whatever. I think he's got people there that he's friends with, which great credit to him. Is it possible that throughout the years, as he's done these events, it's like, hey, can you comp something? Can you put a couple things on my tab? Again, we're going down a slippery slope potentially, but are there possibilities there? Maybe, and whatever it is, maybe he just doesn't want it out there, which is why he's kept things so hush hush. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, what kind of revenue, if we are talking about that kind of aspect of the show, what kind of revenue are they going to bring in for the casino? Are they going to bring people to the casino because it's brought to them, and is that going to be the mainstream, or
it's probably
do they think it's
advertised?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Do they think advertisers are actually going to pick this up? Because I don't see that happening personally. Like I know Mutt.
You don't think it's already bought out?
That's what I'm saying. It might be bought out, but how much is it going to produce? And is it just going to end up being a bigger loss for that company? Versus Barstool, that there's going to be there's 4 shows that carry the entire gravity and budget of the entire company because they're so popular. But all of a sudden, now we got this show with Mohegan, and Mutt didn't take the opportunity. Because if Mutt went to Barstool, he could have just jumped in and had other pieces of content help him out.
This is just me totally talking out of my ass. Oh, sorry, PRC. I was just going to say real quick. It might be, from Mohegan's standpoint, it might be just something to have going on in the sports book. Because right now, with the rise of online gambling, people are now more likely to sit in their house and bet on their phone. So they still want people going there to the casino, obviously dropping money in the sports book, food and drink, and then they go off to the tables, that kind of thing, go see a show. Like it's another, and whether or not this actually works like this, it's another potential draw to get people to go to the brick and mortar establishment. Would be just a shot in the dark for me.
But doesn't FanDuel own the whole kit and caboodle?
FanDuel is based on is Mohegan. Basically,
So-
But they're going to
So-
make more if someone enters the establishment. They're going to potentially make more when they start, eating there and drinking, and potentially going to gamble on something that they can't gamble on their phone. Again, I'm just kind of throwing things out there. And look, if we reverse a second, the whole Coley thing, the Space Jam premise was kind of funny. So maybe it's just like, hey, this is funny, and I'm going to throw this out. We are probably going to get killed, or maybe me. I'm probably the worst offender here, just for digging so deeply into this and being so serious about it. It's possible he just thought it was fucking funny.
Possibly could be too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. And then I guess that would, other than the gambling part, that would kind of lead us into his unnamed appearance. I don't know how everybody felt going into that unnamed appearance, but I was losing my fucking mind. I was sitting in my car. I was on my break from work, and I was late coming back from my break because I had to listen to the end. I'm just sitting there as Wit is begging Mutt to take the job. And for me, if somebody like Wit and fucking the owner of the goddamn company, who truly doesn't need Mutt, is basically saying, hey, take this job. I'm trying to give you money. And Mutt is he was so insistent on saying that he was fine and loyal. And that whole appearance, that whole show, like, first of all, great show. The whole unnamed show was great. But that part with Mutt, I don't know how you guys felt, but my blood was fucking boiling. I don't know if you guys were getting mad or if you guys were just like cringing or embarrassed. How did y'all feel about the unnamed show? Robbie?
It's tough. Look, it was tough to watch. I think we all knew it was going to. Unfortunately, we all knew it was going to happen. We didn't know that Dave was going to offer him a job, but as soon as you got into it, you basically knew, like, hey, Mutt's going to stand his ground. He's going to be loyal to Mohegan. It was hard to watch Whitney just being like, hey, I'm begging you to take this job. That was really hard to watch, and you could see it in Dave's eyes. You could see it on Whit and even Kirk. It was just like, what are you doing, dude? You have the golden ticket. Go cash it. Right?
Yeah, that was crazy. Danny, how are you feeling? Were you mad, cringing? What was it?
I was out mowing the lawn, and I kept trying to find baby bunnies to run over. I was so angry. I'm just, it's crazy to think that after this unbelievable week, that the Montante golf tournament segment wasn't the most infuriating part.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll get to that.
I mean, that would have been number one, probably 99 times out of 100. So the fact that this was it, look, as far as the unnamed show is concerned, 2 weeks ago, they were threatening to cancel it. And granted, that was probably the worst episode. This, I think, if it wasn't the best, it was by far the most actually emotional. You mentioned Rob. Whitney, you could tell he was genuinely like, dude, take the fucking job. And then 10 seconds later, he's going on about RA. There were like real emotions. Portnoy was into it. By the way, Portnoy's he's now a legitimate Minifan. I know he always followed the show. He was bringing up shit that an OG might only know, or somebody who, has been going through every episode like UFAX. He knew stuff that people just don't know unless, and I'm sure he's still not listening, but you could tell he's falling down those Twitter rabbit holes and figuring shit out. So yeah, it was tough. I just kept I was rooting for Mutt, and, as, PRC, as you once said on Twitter at, February 19th, 2022 at 5:02 PM, when there's he's quoting Will Compton fucking podcasts, like Mutt, that's how he would answer a question. It was worse than the freaking CNN interview that's been pre-recorded. It just didn't make any sense to me. I wanted him to have at least one legitimate argument outside of loyalty, which again, this group loves loyalty, but to a point, if you can't feed your family, which however he's doing that, I don't know. Right now I'm an unemployed guy in Massachusetts. I still have a severance. My unemployment hasn't run out. I'm looking for a job, but I've got 2 kids. My wife probably makes about the same as Mutz does. It's not easy right now, and everybody knows that. So, and look, do I make a couple $100 a week on Mutt's deck? No, I don't. Maybe do some contracting jobs on the side, but there's just so much shit that costs money right now. It's, I don't know. It's been brought up a million times, and we'll kill it to death, but I don't know how he's doing it.
Yeah, hey, Jackson makes a really good point right there. Really politician Mutt. You could tell based on what you were saying and what you said, Danny, with him going back and mentioning those fucking tweets. He literally prepped for this argument, and that was his prep work. That's just kind of that's fucking hilarious within itself. First of all, that's why they were laughing so hard, because the arguments he'd bring up is just that's it. It's just the fucking loyalty shit. When you have this company who's essentially, when you think about it too, the company of Barstool has essentially helped build him and raise him up to a level that he probably didn't expect. If he would have just not gone to Saratoga and not been appearing on Kirk's show like he has, and then was just like, by the way, guys, I have this show coming out with Who's and Fuck like next week, and we're going to talk about betting on football because that's new. And like, no one's going to watch that. It takes a lot to build off of that. And having Barstool behind your back, look at 95% of Barstool's podcasts. If those have started on their own without Barstool's backing after they were employed, they might be where a lot of us who like to do that kind of shit are, where they're not getting all these views and stuff. But because of Barstool's backing, there is a dedicated audience that's going to watch it from day one. And then,
yeah, I don't think facts. Are you trying to say you think Mutt takes that for granted?
I think he just doesn't think about the logistics of it to a high enough degree. I think he's just dismissive of it, which is just the dumbest move ever. He's way too dismissive of it. He thinks he's got it all figured out.
But I would think that's
he's
that's
shitting
the
himself,
whole
man.
question.
He wished like he said, if the Coleman thing didn't happen, like this wouldn't have happened. So like he did this like in April, so he couldn't have seen the future. And then he makes stupid decisions all the time, so you could just tell the way he like didn't say anything to Kirk about it or anything when it first was on the table, the job after Coleman left, and he's just a horrible communicator. That's my take.
But don't you feel like he has to be feeling it though? Like the decision, like just monetarily wise, after all this time, like Kirk's been saying, being out of a job, and like that's why it's so weird to me, because it feels like he should be feeling it, and his choices should be motivated by like, hey, I got to put food on the table for my family and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe he's happy with what he's doing.
No,
I don't know.
Like they're making it work.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, I'd be happy to sit around on my couch all day, but you think my wife's going to allow that? I mean, of course not. And and to your point, Sig, that plays into the whole idea of him being scared of Kirk, quote unquote. Which the fact that he didn't want to say something, and Kirk acknowledged, he's right. Like he knows if he says something to me, it's going to end up on air. But at the same time, if he had this conversation with Kirk, like maybe back when he was making the decision, I mean, Kirk could have advised him one way or the other. And to not have done the research on Eton, because if he did, I mean, Mutt had to know what kind of reaction this guy was going to get. He's kind of trying to defend him. He's kind of denouncing at least his tweets, not him. I hope he takes it on the air and shits all over this guy, or at least they have a good back and forth. And maybe this guy's, this guy. I mean, he's nuts. So maybe he's like a double agent Minifan. I mean, he's on there arguing with Jay, on Twitter, and shitting on Pat Ford.
Well, we've all been there.
You know what? But that's the thing. Maybe he'll get sucked in and he'll get converted. Maybe he's been a Minifan this whole time. He's a double agent, and then it's going to be absolutely hilarious. And
maybe it's an account I created.
Oh God.
I hope not.
All right.
Might be worse.
So guys, Coley's back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I think we've kind of said everything that's going to be said about Mutt. But yeah, Coley is back. I said in the chat earlier this week that the plan was originally we're to be congratulating John from Scranton for getting the job, and then bam, they fucking pull a Yui on us, and they turn around and go right back to Coley. I obviously do not have as much to speak about Coley because I have watched some episodes with him, but I'm newer, so that's not really my place. So I'm going to let mostly Robbie V, Sig, Danny, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the return of Coley and what do you think it's going to become? Do you think it's going to be different from last time? Just your overall thoughts. It's all yours.
No, I mean,
go ahead.
Coley's, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be him. I mean, that was a hell of a curveball. I think we all had a hell of a curveball. I mean, on Wednesday, there was rumors that Coleman was coming back, and then those, rumors are flying. I mean, John Dales had a great performance on Monday. The plumber guy did good. I had no clue. I mean, I'm happy Coley's back. Some continuity. They all feed off each other. I think the show is going to get a free, surge of energy, freshness or whatever you want to call it. I think we're heading in a good direction. That's
9 months. 9 months of solid shows straight. It's going to be another great era. And I think in January, Coley will start to slow down maybe, and then he'll get jump started again. And we'll have him for a year and a half. That's my prediction.
Year and a half. Okay. Robbie, do you have a timeline before Danny gives his analysis on this whole thing?
I'll give him 2 years.
2 years. That's not bad. That's a good showing. I'll say one thing for Danny goes. Maybe I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, it seemed like maybe it was a choice based on just getting the bearings back and getting comfortable again because of all the chaos that's kind of happened with Gus, Coleman, and just all this indecision, and how bad that Kirk did not want to do this producer search bullshit again. Like, he let those guys come in. John Dales did great. Plumber guy wasn't even that bad at all, too. I didn't mind him personally, but I think overall he just wanted to be comfortable again and get footing back. Danny?
I think that's a decent assessment there, Facts. I think there's probably a lot of truth to that. I'd like to address something, some allegations that have been thrown at me, some aspersions that have been cast. I've now been, for several months now, been referred to as a show hater, quote unquote, by Kirk Minifans, and then Robbie V defended my honor on Monday as best he could, and then of course, goddamn Mayo brings it up the other day, which I guess he was sort of trying to defend me in a way by saying, "Oh, now Danny's going to like the show now that Cullinane is back." Although he referenced me calling into Mike and the Minifans, which into Menors Live, which the fact that was his source documentation for his argument was kind of ridiculous, considering I was yelling at Montante for suppressing free speech and calling John a pussy. Sorry, John, I don't really think you're a pussy, but I wish you get the job. It would have been fun to have John. I think he would have done an amazing job. But I know I didn't see it coming. I'm still wondering exactly why he did it. I don't feel like we got a great explanation on that either. And we keep talking about financials here. I should be worried about my own finances and not a bunch of podcast people. But at the same time, I don't really understand how this works. If he didn't, and I get that he didn't leave the job because of money necessarily before, but now to come in and I guess he's splitting it with Justin or whatever's going on there. I assume they came to some term that makes sense, because now if he's doing this full time, it's not like he can continue to make money on TikTok or doing consulting, whatever he was doing before. It's not like he was getting sick of some of that. So I get it if he wants to come back to what he loves. And, maybe he has.
It's like the Yankees with Billy Martin in the 80s. They keep coming back to the well, There's a solid guy.
And hopefully Collinane doesn't suffer the same demise in a pickup truck in his driveway.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I'll use a recent one for all of us other young guys because I'm not old and broken. It's like Juju Smith-Schuster, how he got released from multiple teams and keeps just going back to the Chiefs and collecting rings. So if you guys are interested at all in the NFL free agency, that's like the modern take.
Sure, I think that's fair, but once again, that takes the financial. I mean, look, I'm sure Juju Smith-Schuster made a few bucks in his day. Yeah, and not to say again, Coley may or may not have, but the fact is. Is he now gonna make more than he was? If he's making less than he was before on the show.
Yep.
And now maybe making more than he was 3 months ago. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just too worried about money right now because that's obviously what I'm thinking about. But it just the circumstances around his return. I still feel like we didn't get the there wasn't like when Kirk didn't toss it over and say, unless I missed it, hey, call, the floor is yours. Tell us the whole. I mean, I think at some point he said what was the thought process, but it was kind of like, oh yeah, I thought it'd be fun to come back to a show, and here I am.
Yeah, it wasn't.
There wasn't a lot of detail, so unless I missed it, someone can explain it.
Do you think it could be worked out to get like points on the back end, like doing the case, maybe like? Well, I mean, I guess that all would go to.
They said they hadn't discussed the case though. When Mike or whoever asked about, hey, is he going to be or actually, I think Mayo actually had one good question on the show, and he actually had made one good point. Which I'll bring up when we get to the golf tournament. But he did ask that. He said, what about the case? And I think Kirk and Coley both said, oh, we actually didn't talk about that, which I feel like they wouldn't lie about it. They would at least say, oh, we talked about it. We haven't figured it out. I mean,
it's got to be kind of like in the back of your mind. If maybe there's a deal where there was some kind of equity involved on some kind of IP that, so it could be back end on the case. Because I mean that's probably going to take off now that Kirk is 2 for 2 from solving murders. So I don't know. I think it may not be. I mean I don't know how much control Kirk has over equity and stuff like that on a Barstool owned IP, but still, like there could be other ways to profit off of it.
Well, I mean, he said he wasn't going to pays everyone directly.
He wasn't going to do season 3
until
he's the financial back.
There's like creative ways to go around things to pay.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I hope it works out well.
They didn't talk about the case, and I think just because season 3 has always kind of been in the waiting for something, and then it just so happened that to transition to that next kind of part of the topic is that Kirk solved another murder. Apparently, in the past couple of days, like we saw, that was pretty fucking awesome because even for me, for you guys,
Well, I'll just say this.
Being new, it was new. I didn't even know much about Kirk, but I knew he had solved that one murder just because of how big it was when it first came out. The first arrest had come out at least, and I saw that all over. Like Big Cat was talking about it, Dave was talking about it, and then all of a sudden, 2 days ago, we get number 2, and it's kind of like, oh, holy shit! Like this has some gravity. Like it had some gravity before, and it was really cool that one was solved. But now he's 2 for 2. We're like, there is going to be something big for season 3. It might not be even this year or within the next even 6 months, but when it does, it's going to be pretty big. I don't know what you guys think. Now that the murder is solved, because now season 3 is a lot more legitimate. I would say yes. Sig.
I mean, season 3. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sig.
No, so I've been following like all the stuff, and with Karen Reed and like everybody else, and with this now, and yeah, Kirk had it down to the guy, and he knew who it was. The FBI, though, like I read the affidavit, and it was like, sorry,
you go through that, Sig.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah.
So after the affidavit.
Yeah. So it's just so graphic how this guy like groomed Sandra Birchmore, and just like it was literally from when she was 15 till 23. He was her boyfriend. It was so freaking weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very strange. And I think the fact that the Karen Reed, case helped to sort of solidify this and uncover this, I think, that's huge. And Kirk acknowledged that. And I thought it made a lot of sense. I mean, he mentioned the other day, because both Whitney and Portnoy had the question, okay, well, Kirk, would this have come to light? Would this have happened? Would he have gotten arrested? Falwell gotten arrested if it hadn't been for your work? And Kirk said, look, we're not the only ones that did it. And certainly the Karen Reed case helped to bring it to light because so many the same people were involved. But he said basically as soon as their final episode launched is when they started investigating, when the FBI and whatnot. So, I mean, they definitely put, major wheels in motion towards this. And it is a very creepy story. It's very weird, but it really shows, the level of potential corruption that's happening, which has now only been intensified even more by what we've seen with the Karen Reed case. And it's like, how deep does this go? And it sucks because, not to get all, philosophical, but you look at, the past, 20 to 30 years, how many, pillars of our community and, people we see as like upstanding folks that we can trust, how many of those have been torn down, whether it be priests, maybe politicians, policemen, dogs this week now. It's like, what's left? I mean, I guess maybe firefighters won't fuck you. I don't know. But, at this point, I just feel like so many things we used to depend on and count on, that we thought were wholesome and great, just have gotten torn down behind, around us. So
bend us over and fuck us, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
So just everything's fucked, is what it is. Can't trust nobody. Robbie, how did you feel now that season 2 is over? I kind of want you to start this conversation. Do you personally have any ideas or any things that you have looked into that you would be like, oh shit, that would be cool for season 3? Does it stay in Massachusetts?
Oh, it does.
Does it go somewhere else? I don't know.
Oh, it does. Someone mentioned that. I mean, she got abducted from she was a lifeguard. She got abducted. That was that's been out there. I mean, that's been cold now for decades, and they've never been able to find out who did it. I mean, he's out there. I mean, it was in Western Mass. I think it was Sturbridge or
Warren.
My bad. Yeah, it was in that area. I mean,
yeah.
I think that would be. I saw someone mention this on Twitter. I mean, that's the first case that comes to mind.
I think it's too old.
Yeah, but I mean, you never know, man. I mean, somebody knows
was that?
something.
Wasn't that the 80s? I mean, it wasn't that long ago.
That was like the 90s.
I think.
Yeah, it was. I just remember Molly Bish, and I think it was.
I mean, look at season 1. That was from the 80s.
Yeah.
Melissa Benoit's another local one that was a big one from back when we were kids. I just hope it.
As well.
I just hope it's not an investigation of the double murder of Montante and Mutt after their bookies gunned them down.
Yeah, that means
true.
I think that might be too recent. We might have to wait 40 years and then circle back to it.
Yeah, it'd also be pretty obvious. It would be pretty obvious you did it. probably Aton.
I had the one that I had was I just saw it randomly because that's what kind of gave me this idea to talk about this. Is back where I live, not stationed, back where I live in Florida, back in Melbourne, Florida, in the city of Palm Bay. There was kind of like this post the other day, and it said what happened to Brandy Hall in August of 2006. Brandy Hall vanished after leaving her post on the volunteer fire station early. Now another August has come and gone, and the case of the 32-year-old firefighter and married mother of 2 is still cold. So I just thought kind of like little things like that where it's just this disappearing. What the fuck happened? All of a sudden, you start putting pieces together. So just because I like Kirk, it doesn't mean I'm going to study the entire layout and investigation missing persons history of Massachusetts. So I just had to grab what I saw on Facebook, and I was like, I live here. This looks relevant. But that would be cool. Something relative to like that because I like hearing the pieces so they get put together, and I like the way that the case is structured where it's not just somebody reading a Wikipedia page. You're seeing them bring evidence and you're trying to make your own assumptions, or it'll be right in front of your face, like with Kevin Miller, It's a cool little thing. So if he went past Massachusetts, that's one that I saw. Something like that would be sick.
I agree.
And I'd like
the missing persons ones
are Midwestern.
Oh, please, yeah.
Yes, I'd like to give one. This is kind of Barstool adjacent too because it's Chicago. The Lane Bryant shootings in the mid 2000s. Someone walked into the Lane Bryant department store, shot 6 people, killed 5. Like 1 was very injured. 1 was at least sexually assaulted, and it has never been solved. And it feels like,
good Lord,
it feels like that's one that you could get because someone walked into a department store and shot it up, and they have never found who it is. And it feels like you could solve that one. Like,
yeah, because it feels like something fishy a little bit.
Yeah,
was it shot up on the Magnificent Mile?
No, if it's a Lane Bryant, it was in a mall. If it's in a mall, it's somewhere in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Here,
I
was gonna say I'm interested in where that was because
it has to be the suburbs here. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah,
crazy there'd be shootings in Chicago,
Illinois,
places.
a suburb
Tinley
of
Park.
Chicago in 2008.
Yeah. And then on a personal like Kirk,
they had cameras back then too.
He could have a camp in Chicago at Barstool Chicago to research the case.
Oh yeah, and people would totally be into that over there too. As it's going on,
the Barstool Chicago office, kind of get those people. Sure,
they fucking do everything else. Why not try to solve a murder?
Well,
they're over there.
I mean that could be the next season of Chris Kramer's Rat Race. They just run around trying to figure out who shot up the Lane Bryant. Yeah.
Before he goes to jail, he has to do the gauntlet.
I mean, the other thing I think would be interesting too, if he could, would be some of these missing person cases. I mean, I think that's what's fascinating as well. I mean, you look at how many people have actually been found. Like the 3 people in the basement in Cleveland, the women that have been locked in there for 13 years. I mean, some of that stuff is just unbelievable to me. So I think there's something to be said for the fact they continue these searches, and it's obviously there's a sad ending as often as not, and as often as there isn't. But the fact you still could find somebody alive if you don't know if they're dead. There's a lot to be said for that as well.
Yep, that, or I mean, just giving families closure that they've been looking for, especially in the cases where it's clearly neglected because of who the person is. So it's something to look into, something cool. But I'm glad that our man is 2 for 2. It's fucking dope. Speaking of murders, the golf tournament that Montante is holding got absolutely fucking slaughtered on the show, and now we kind of get to see what's going to happen. Are the bits and pieces going to be picked up, or is this thing just absolutely 100% completely dead? Robbie, what do you think about this?
I don't know. I mean, people are dropping out left and right. I mean, you think I was running the tournament the way it's going this week, to be perfectly honest with you. So, Danny's shaking his head. That's probably a yes.
It does feel like a Robbie V production.
Basically. It's like, hey, just show up with no tea time, 18 rack of Coors Light. Let's go. I don't know. I mean, he did count Bonus Salad as a guy who was attending the tournament, and I don't know if that, is a good call.
Well, he said nipples at least 3 times. I think nipples has 3 foursomes that he's participating in.
I mean, do we have an accurate count of the people? First off, I mean, and now it's 150.
Hey, trust the process. Trust the process, Robbie. You heard Michael. Come on.
I know.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Not even a
definitely.
conference championship for trust the process. So how can we?
I was going to say, I mean, the 76ers, I mean, they paid for a couple of, diapers for Victoria. I'll say that much. Shout out Joel Embiid for sucking. All right. Anyway, no, I just don't. I mean, I hope it works out. I want it to work out, but I have my questions. I'm also wondering just if the tournament. I mean, I know he's trying to make a little money. I mean, can we trust Michael Montante with our hard-earned money? And how are we even paying for the tournament? By Venmo?
I don't want to even give him my real name.
Well, that's kind of the problem. I mean, you got to trust him.
You're not really named Sigmund Freudahan.
No.
Look,
No.
the thing. So I'm as big a Montard as they get. I love the guy, but I mean, and that show was hilarious. I mean, just listening to him because I love him. He's so stubborn. He's such a bull. Like he said, "Oh, it's gonna work. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome." And then every once in a while, he'd be like, "Fuck, we're done. Then he'd come right back. It's gonna be awesome. I mean, so I mentioned that Mayo actually brought up a rare great point. And Kirk agreed with him. And he said, "Look, Kirk might have probably said it first, but I just heard him say it on a re-listen." Mayo said, "Look, this isn't actually a golf tournament. This is just getting a bunch of guys together to golf," which, to Kirk's point, is I think kind of what Montante wants to do. I mean, sure. And he said, "Oh, we've never really had a tournament. It's never really worked out." And Kirk is like, "Yeah, this isn't going to be the first one. This is the Michael Montante Memorial Tournament. Like, this is not. I'm not putting my name on this shit. Whatever. They're going to go up there, have a good time. Kirk has the right attitude. We're going to do a show. We'll have some fun. We'll make fun of it. There's going to be a bunch of guys up golf and having a great time. So in the end, it's going to work out just fine. But it's hilarious content. And this is, when you look at this week, I mean, this week encapsulated so many of the great things that we love and have loved about the Kirk Minihane show. When the criticism comes out, oh, the show's not the same, whatever. No, it's not the same. But a couple things is we didn't have enemies for a little bit, not like real enemies. We got two good ones this week between Aton and now this fuckface who said that he started talking about Birchmore before. We didn't even get to him, but he's not even worth talking about. But people are going after him like on like threads that are not even close to him talking about Birchmore. It's like these guys. Sorry, I had to sell my computer, so I'm on the phone here, so we're a little we're struggling. But I think the fact is you've got you.
Are those candlelights?
It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be funny. So Sig, though, I'm so glad, and I loved hearing Kirk go to bat for you, and I'm just so happy you're going to be in the tournament now, Sig. I mean, that's amazing. It was good to hear.
I've been golfing like 7 years, but I figured this would be a great time to bust the clubs out.
Yeah, get back in the mix.
I mean, Montante talks about
because
free speech and freedom of expression
as a lib. He was marginalizing me, and
that's the thing, and he was doing what he blames you for doing. So now. Right. The fact is, he's letting you speak your piece. You're going to get out there. You'll probably be terrible, but who cares? You're going to be part of this process. So no voter suppression. This isn't rigged. You're out there. By the way,
he called me weird because I have multiple different accounts that.
Well, Sig, you are weird. I mean,
to being friends with me with gay Dave.
That's
I mean, that's. Look, I'm weird too. We're all weird. We're sitting here talking to each other on a Friday night to a bunch of people we've never actually met in person for the most part.
Yeah, reaction show to a reaction show. We're not special here.
Exactly. But last point though, I think there's no way Montante he did not accidentally have his DM set to private. The fact he didn't know how to turn that off is complete bullshit. I mean, that's lie of the week right there. I think, on top of probably 50 others, but come on.
Well, I thought his fact about was brilliant Montante, just saying, he's like, my birthday is the same as my year that I was born.
That was a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
Really just hurt
the fact that Kirk was so into that was surprising to me.
Because Montante's Kirk surrounds himself with some people that have moron tendencies, but Montante brings a whole nother level, and you don't expect it, and then all of a sudden it's there. But then he brings it back. It's he's
so sick. As a licensed professional, is there some maybe neurodivergence going on there? And your
totally
a professional opinion. Yeah, that's fine.
He might he says it all the time. He might have a little bit of autism.
You can say it. You can say that word. So
yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I think it's safe.
The apostrophe T word. Yeah.
Autism.
Oh
no!
Whoa, he's dropping hard R's up in here. Jesus. Wow. Fuck, we're getting banned. John just came on to booze.
Yeah, John.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like Peter, Paul, and Mary. That's how like my brain works. You know, like that. I think that's a bad word to say on the screen. Never mind.
I mean, we've got some real up to date references here, and I'm probably guilty as anything. Peter, Paul, and Mary might take the cake.
Yeah.
Can we have a mic?
I'm doing it for us. I don't care about the audience.
Oh, that's great. That's a great attitude. It's great when you're on a fan show. Hey, can I bring up a Montante adjacent point here? Can I ask my friend Robbie V something?
Please, absolutely.
So first off, I want to compliment Robbie V. Just a great in studio appearance on Monday. Robbie V called me Sunday night and he said, "Sully, I'm gonna inject some extra life into the show this week. I think Monday is going to be the start of a great week." And this man, I mean, once again, Robbie V was right. I mean, lock of the week was Robbie V starting this week off on the right foot. I mean, we met John Dales. We heard all about Brock Baldridge, which, you know, the fact that he said that's his real name. I mean, that's another huge lie of the week. The lie detector. You know, just it was a great episode.
I have a take.
Well, hang on. I want to make a point here. I have a point and then a question for Robbie V. And sorry, Fax. I made to bogart the show from you.
No, please go ahead.
I've been friends with Robbie V for almost 40 years. I've seen his shoelaces tied twice. Once was at his wedding and once was at my son's baptism. So the fact that Kirk picked up on that quickly was absolutely hilarious.
Robbie V had his shoes on like a serial killer who's fleeing the scene.
Since he was 5 years old, he's worn his shoes.
Kirk and just be like, I'll never be able to forget how Robbie wore his shoes today.
He's worn black New Balances. I've probably seen him wear 3 pairs of shoes over our lifetime.
The shoes were coming out of the middle of the shoelaces.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's Robbie V comfort. I mean, from kindergarten till now, it'll never change, and I love it. It's just one of the consistencies in my life that I think back to sometimes when I just need a friend and I just need a warm fuzzy. I just think about Robbie V. I don't even think about it anymore. That was the funny part. When Kirk brought it up, I'm like, I haven't actively thought about this in 10 years because it's just become part of my life. And I loved it too because Robbie V's response, I quote, when Kirk asked you about it, Robbie V said, "I just slipped it in and just came." And I thought that was the perfect response.
So the question for that, I believe you said there was a question.
Oh, the question is, after all that, I think it's interesting because Robbie V's stock is obviously up, and maybe we'll hear about that. I think PRC, you heard that last week on 3 Up 3 Down. Great program. Check it out on the other network. Maybe maybe not. Maybe stick with this network. I don't know. Whatever.
Unified network.
Good show. You can listen to everything. I watch everything.
Do whatever you want. Listen to everything.
But Robbie V, what I love is now Robbie V, you're bringing on the haters. I mean, Montante was shitting on you in the episode. You've got Kane is Abel out there, calling you out. We even heard from Steve from Gloucester, calling you out. I mean, Robbie V has become a target in the Minifan world. And this is, it's pretty exciting. It's sort of a coming of age. It's like, when Kirk, says he wants you dead by getting your asshole split in half by a dildo from your wife. It's a rite of passage, and it's exciting. So what are your thoughts on this? And do you have any, responses to, Montante saying you should know more about college football?
No, he was right on that. I should have known.
Whatever Kane said, and then I haven't heard what Stephen Gloucester said, probably some gibberish, but
I did. I can help out with that in a bit.
Steve from Gloucester.
Fix my.
I mean, he said I was, I think it was just a 0 on the show or awful or whatever. I mean, hey, look, whatever, man. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. But the funny thing is about Steve from Gloucester is that I think he said on the Consistency podcast, like, when I did it, and, when I was talking smack about Gus, I just, the show was already going bad or whatever. That's what he said. He does realize that during those 4 months that he was on what, once a week for about probably, or whatever, 12 out of those 16 weeks he's referring to. Hammer and Coleman and, like Hammer and Coleman's DMs trying to get on. I mean, this is like old as dirt and whatever, but I'm just saying, man. I mean,
he's grooming. What you're saying is he's grooming Coley. That's what it seemed like.
I mean, it seemed like, yeah. I mean, he was obviously sucking up to Coley. I mean, let's be honest on that.
The whole thing. I decided to listen for the first time ever to that show today because one of you guys had dropped it into the chat.
Yeah, I dropped it.
So I was like, all right, fine. Like, I'll do it. I'm going to listen to a full episode. And that was definitely one of the more regrettable decisions other than reading these comments who are breaking my heart right now. Number 2 would probably be the Steve Consistency podcast because, there was a bunch of nothing, and then he goes after Robbie, who I really like, and his other enemy is Cinema, who I also really like. So I already fucking hate this guy, and all of the points that he brought up, Robbie, he was telling you, I believe, to go in and face Kirk face to face. No, he was telling Jeff D. Lowe this. He was telling he has to go and be the same person he is on screen as he is off screen, and then talked for about 3 minutes about how he is the same person on screen as he is off screen. And that's just objectively not true. So that whole thing was just a waste of time. I'm sad that I listened to it. I don't like Steve. He's a spineless pussy. He sucks. But well, yeah, that was a waste. So I'm sorry, Robbie V, that you even got roped into that. But
No, because I brought it up on the show. Don't be sorry. I mean, you can't you can't be in this world and not defend yourself. And for a while, like, and look, I appreciate, everyone who jumped in, but can't be sorry about it. If you put what I put out there, someone's gonna fire back. And you have to freaking grow a sack up and freaking respond. It's that simple. And Danny knows, like, whatever. I mean, I am not confrontational. Danny, I mean, you know this, Danny. Me walking away
unless it's on the wiffle ball field, true.
Yeah,
what happened on the wiffle ball field?
Well, mostly me getting my ass beat for 40 years. We don't have to talk about that now.
Well,
the
the one game we have on video is me getting fucking killed.
That's true. Colorado, though. We played in Colorado, so I think it was the Rocky Mountain Air. So the over was 23.5, and I hit that myself. I do think, but although, funny, while we're telling stories, it was interesting story there you brought up at the end of Monday's show there, Robbie V, about me peeking over the side of your vehicle. So I did.
I mean, it's not like it was a good vehicle. It was a Ford Taurus.
I don't. Well, yeah, you didn't
What
mention
color
that,
was
though.
it? Green?
No, it was
Well,
black.
after I was done with it, yes,
Yeah, it was black. It was
because the vomit was green. You get it, PRC?
I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Good one.
So thank you. So we'll look for some. As Robbie V mentioned, though, maybe we'll get a Robbie V story. See, the problem is I can't tell a story like Robbie V does, for better or for worse. So I think
He did have me hooked
hard to fire back
from the minute he started till the end.
I listened to the full thing word for word, and I
was there, and I was like trying to figure out what the hook was. I'm like, I mean, Robbie has an excellent.
It was the squeegee.
Some of these things. It was the squeegee, and that was probably the part I forgot because I was viciously hungover and dying.
We both were.
Oh, what was the part you told me? I told you to turn the radio off. I didn't get that part. I don't remember that.
I was basically about to put EEI on for college football or something because I wanted to listen to the BC pregame, and you were just no, man.
Well, that'll make anybody sick.
Yeah. I mean, you were just like, Robbie, take that freaking put that shit off. And then that's when I knew. I was like, oh, could be having an interesting ride,
I mean, it could have been Pat Gilroy on the weekends back then.
Probably. I mean, no, it was. I think it was Mustard and Johnson, and they were talking about. Who's the guy from Canton? Like the Yankee fan? I can't remember.
Tim and Canton.
Tim and Canton. Yeah, I think he was. I don't know. He was on.
He's not
something.
a Yankee fan.
I don't know. It's
Well,
just
there
like,
you go. I mean, I thought the story was fine. It took a while to get where we needed to go, but I listened to the whole thing. I enjoyed it. Before we head out, Robbie, I know that tomorrow morning, you said, I believe at 10:30, your lock of the week is coming out. Does anybody on this panel have a lock of the week that they want to mention before we get out of here? PRC, do you got anything this weekend that you're looking forward to?
Fuck you, Manners.
I think someone mentioned I think someone mentioned tonight. It's actually happening in about like 10 minutes. Wisconsin, Western Michigan over 55.5. I think that's a sneaky over. I do.
Okay.
I think I'd have to look into the Saturday more, but like I think that's a sneaky kind of over because sometimes those games that you don't think are gonna go over just because of the history of the teams. But I don't think the defense is that good on Western Michigan. I think I'm not 100% sold on that, but if I had a lock on the week, it would be I forget who mentioned it, but it would be Wisconsin, Western Michigan over 55.5.
I think it was Ted who mentioned that.
Okay, shout out Ted then.
Shout out Ted. Danny, anything we got?
What locks of the week are we doing? Gambling now? Or?
Anything? We'll just got one thing before we preview for Robbie tomorrow. Before we head out of here,
that sounds good. I just want to give a shout out to the Bath Barn. I thought Drew the Plumber was very good. I'd love to hear maybe from his boss Cody. I did think that was hilarious between that the name Cody and what Drew the Plumber looked like. It was definitely I don't know. I think it could potentially be a front for also a mafia organization, the Bath Barn with Cody and Drew. I don't know.
It could be an Amish mafia too.
There you go. There you go.
Could be.
All right. Sig, you got anything for this weekend? Are you good?
I'm good.
All right. I want to say, because I know I'm excited to see what Robbie V has to say tomorrow. Robbie, don't say anything. Save it for tomorrow. I know everyone's excited. But for me personally, tomorrow is Florida plus 2.5. Miami going into the swamp, thinking that they got it all figured out. I don't see it. No chance. Florida's going to cover that. Florida's going to win that game. It's going to be great. But I know that you guys, especially all the Minifans, love sports and gambling talk so much. But unfortunately, we're running out of time. Thank you, everyone, for dealing with my technical difficulties, for the stories. Hopefully, we can get some real good constructive criticism from Menners. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you guys all have a good night. And I guess that's really it. But thank you, guys.
The best week in history continues.
That's right.
Indeed.
He basically lied since then because he's too afraid. He doesn't have the guts that Kirk has. After watching that Mike and the Minifans, another atrocious effort. Anyway, good evening, folks. Welcome back to Manners Live. It's mainly going to be a call-in show tonight, so I hope John from Scranton's going to get the calls going. I've done 2 shows in 2 days, so not a lot to add to some of the great content I've already put out. I don't, Johnny, you here or not? Anyway, we'll see. Look, maybe we'll take calls. Maybe this will be a 5-minute show.
I'm here, buddy. I was just getting calls set up. I didn't want you to...
Look at you. Look at you. So, yeah, we're going to be taking calls, and I'm telling you all, get on the phone. We've so much to react to. I just want, John, can you do 2 things at once, or do you want me to wait?
No, you're good. We're good.
Has Kirk reached out to you yet and said you haven't got the job, or thank you for all your efforts, or are we still just tumbleweeds in your DMs?
Tumbleweeds.
That's fucked, man. And I'm so bits aside, like on a man-to-man level, if someone put all the effort you did, and so he never genuinely considered you an option, he still could have, after Cullinane was announced, because probably he knows if he tells you beforehand, you're going to tell Jay or BA, and then it gets in the troll chat, and then the world knows about it. So I get why he didn't pre-warn you, but then afterwards, doesn't take long to send a message. Hey, John, really appreciate all your efforts. I know you spent a lot of time coming back and forth, but, Cullinane's my guy at the moment. But you didn't even get that.
I had just assumed he thought I was out of the race earlier or something. I don't know. But it's got to be tough to have to tell somebody that 3 times. So maybe a little social anxiety about that.
But he can just message you. Like, he doesn't have to do it face-to-face or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you are still running his network for free. Like,
whatever.
have you just thought about quitting after this?
No. I could take as many punches on the fucking nose as necessary. Look at this thing.
No, I mean, obviously dignity is not your strong point.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Anyway, let's put up the calls number because I'd love to hear from everybody. Obviously, great week for Mutt.
Everybody, all the commenters complaining that Mike and the Minifans talked about Mutt for a half hour. What the fuck you think they're going to talk about, you fucking idiot?
It was a terrible show. It was another awful. It
wasn't a bad show. Facts going with the sports option at the end of the show was a risky twist.
It was absolutely awful.
I appreciate taking risk.
So I'll give you some producer tips while we're waiting for calls.
I don't.
So there was no need for PRC to be on there.
Wise was on the show this week. Yeah, but caller.
PRC was on the show.
Yeah, like he was a guest. You have a caller.
He wasn't. You're thinking about
No.
Sig, you retard. Anyway.
Go ahead, Anonymous.
Hello, caller.
Wow, that was a rough Mike and the Minifans. Manners, thank you for saving us here. 3 nights in a row, I might add. So appreciate it. I have a lot to talk about. John, did you ever put your nuts on the table and say to Kirk, either privately or publicly, Kirk, I'll move to Watertown. I'll take the 65K. I want this because you said it a couple times.
I said it like 9 times on the show.
The job.
I said it 9 times on the show, almost 10 feet away from him.
Yeah, it's tough for me to understand what went wrong there because it seemed like you did make it clear, and then simple. Every time Kirk talks about it.
Yeah, I would say it's as simple as I just don't think the guy likes me. You know.
All right, now on to Mutt, our friend Mike Zinansky. Now there's
Can I just jump in there? Can I just hold on, caller, 1 sec. John, actually, I don't think it's Kirk doesn't like you, John.
Oh,
I actually do think he doesn't want someone to move to Watertown for him because he likes the ability of being able to fire someone as part of the show whenever. And I think even he would feel like if you moved to Watertown and then he comes in one day when he's not supposed to be there and you're smoking a cigarette in the studio and he's like, okay, you're fired. Right. I think he'd feel bad. So I think it's more like if Cullinane comes in now and in 3 months he's a fucking train wreck again, you can just fire him. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I had explained the same thing to my mom earlier today.
So you can imagine that's 10x for me. Like if I move over there.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He'd have to suffer with me for like 2 years.
What else you got, caller?
And so Mutt, I think it's as simple as working for Barstool is not an easy job. Although many people want the job, like to go home every night and have thousands and thousands of people, more than just the Minifans, on your ass, Portnoy on your ass. Are you writing enough blogs? I just don't think Mutt wants to work there. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's incredible. There are millions and millions of men in America who would cherish the offer Portnoy gave him. So he's basically giving all them the finger, saying he's better than you. And secondly, I do not think beggars can be choosers. He said he's only $200 a month from Muttstack. He's going to make a pittance from this show in Mohegan Sun. The Viking is giving him $20 for pizza. His wife is working herself into the ground. He just has to take it. I mean, it's not like 98.5's knocking on the door, begging him to host the show there. I mean, it's a fucking disgrace.
All right. With this, there's a rumor out there that this Brad Bryant guy that Mutt's been loyal to at Mohegan, and again, this is rumors, but allegedly Mutt was in a homosexual relationship. Not that there's anything wrong with that. With the Brad Bryant guy, Mutt was more of the submissive in the relationship, and he's got to do whatever this guy says, or he'll blow his whole family up. So he'll expose the pictures he has of him, in the dog collar. So it's a possibility, but let me know your thoughts, and I'll hang up.
Well, that's one of the oldest things in the book. Set up something at a casino. There's absolutely every chance that's a possibility.
Hold on, Colin.
But yeah, I think he keeps talking about loyalty, but what about loyalty to your best friend Kirk? Like, that's what I don't get. And actually, Fax said it, and I hate to give him credit, but he said, well, so what about loyalty to like your family and putting food on the table? Like, I legitimately am angry at Mutt. The more I think about it, and I can only imagine, John, like if Portnoy gave you that offer, you would be popping champagne bottles, you would be, partying for a week. It would be the best day of your life. And Mutt's there going, I'm going to do the shitty show instead.
It's just dumb. Like, people who do shit for pride, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Pride could go fuck itself. Fuck pride. Yeah. You got another caller.
Good, thank God.
Yeah, it's so funny, John, right? Pride can go fuck itself. How about having pride in Mike and the Minifans, dude? Come on.
Good one.
The last 10 weeks has been really difficult. Come on, John.
What do you want me to
Manners
do?
was
What do
running
you
the
want?
show,
Okay. Shut up. Okay, you think it's bad. Who do you want to host and who do you want on the show? I'll get it for next week.
I want BA.
Okay, you want BA hosting. BA abandoned the show. BA abandoned the show.
True.
So what do you want me to do?
Because Manners stopped paying him. Manners stopped paying him.
Well, then point your argument to Menners then.
I never paid BA. Okay, well, caller, shut up for a sec. Caller, shut up.
An asshole, Manners.
Yeah, so John, John, let me entertain this caller for a second. For example, this week, you had Danny and what's the Robbie V, the slow guy. You did not need PRC again. You could have said PRC. A producer would say PRC. You sit in the back and produce, so someone can actually look at the mic levels because some guys are like so loud, some guys are so soft. So you could have had Fax, the slow guy Robbie V, and Danny. And if we're really throwing bones, we could have had Sig as well. But you know, you don't care about it.
Don't be mean to Sig, first of all.
Oh my God. It was so much better. It was so much better when Manners was running it. It was just so much better. BA and Manners and Jonathan Scranton and everyone on the panel.
BA abandoned the show.
Listen,
I would love BA to be here.
BA's gone. BA's gone.
He was here. He's gone. He doesn't want to do the show anymore. It's
He's
not
listening to KMS anymore. He said
he doesn't listen to the
months
show.
behind. He's a beanbag Ron guy. Beanbag Ron is poaching everybody.
So now Joe and PRC took over producing the show. They have been handling it for the past couple weeks. Joe, who handled it when you said it was great, and PRC.
Well, that's not true. Joe's.
I'll tell you what. I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I used to love the show. I don't love it anymore. Now
Thank you for calling.
It's now called the Minifans, by the way. That change is official.
I did
put
the star in like the Minifans. Keep listening. We'll get better.
Yeah.
937.
Fax is trying, but he's
doing a great job. He's here. He's listening.
Hey guys, quick question here.
Hey,
I was just curious. Since now Colonaine's back, how long is Justin actually going to be on the show? I mean, this guy has just been bits after bits after bits. Guy fucking sucks. Colinaine can actually be worth himself on this show. Justin can't last more than maybe 2 months at the most. You guys think, or no?
No, you're full of shit. I mean, that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Justin's lasted longer than anyone else on the show.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ. What planet are you fucking from? I mean,
that's a good point. That is a good point. But I mean, Justin's bits, these bits have to run out at some point, right?
I think that's actually one of the reasons Kirk wanted to get someone in there as quick as possible, because he doesn't want to burn Justin out. You can see Justin gets a bit frazzled when something goes wrong. So I actually think Cullinane and Justin means Justin could be with us longer.
Remember when Gus was going through his shit and Justin was going and doing these things, everyone was saying, "Oh, look at Justin. He's the ideal producer." And he is.
Bad call. Bad call.
It's not a bad call. It's just a shitty, horrible call and a shitty take. No, I'm kidding, caller. It's not a bad take. Justin won't burn out.
Yeah, thanks for calling. Great to hear from you. Love the Minifans. Yeah.
We're getting a lot of good calls now.
Yeah, we are. And they're working, which is a surprise.
I just don't like people talking shit on my boy Justin, who did call and felt horrible for me. 508.
He called you.
You did.
Hey, John, this is Scott from Ropes R Us. We're just calling to confirm your order of a 6-foot rope with a pre-tied noose.
Yeah. 6 feet. Perfect.
Another bit, Robbie, Ron.
Boo, Menners fucked it up.
Two.
Hey, keep it up.
Slow people.
No calls right now. Go ahead.
All right. So John still hasn't been contacted by Kirk. That's it.
I don't need to be contacted by anyone. I get the point.
Next one.
The Montante call. The Montante call, and then Colonane. Then when they were discussing guys who can take it well, like guys who can handle it, and they're mentioning Montante. What? I've been taking it on the chin for fucking 5 years now. I think I can at least be mentioned there, but no, I didn't even get mentioned then.
Yeah, really sad. The plumber was good. Honestly, I think the plumber was fantastic. I like him.
And John Dale.
I think you should. Who?
John Dale.
John Dales. I think the plumber was funnier. I think you should recruit him to GBE.
The Philly guys are crazy, bro. I thought he was good though. He was
so on the Mike and the I think that I don't know if this was censored on Mike and the Minifans, but it appears it was. So there is a chance, isn't there, that Cullinane found the Sandra Birchmore case on TikTok from that guy, was it John, and then took it to, so I don't know what his name was, but I'm not going to credit him, and then took it to Kirk. Is that what the insinuation is, that this guy was posting about the Sandra Birchmore thing on TikTok before the case season 2 came out, and he's saying, well, where's my credit? I sniffed a rat here long before Kirk and Dave did. Now, I don't know the timeline. You would have to interrogate Cullinane and Kirk to really get the answers here, but this guy has a valid point. I mean, we know Cullinane's on TikTok all the time, and I'm not even saying that's a terrible thing for Cullinane to see a post and then look into it more.
Anyone who calls someone else out for taking on a case that they may have been taking, for saying I did this first, and makes it all about them in the true crime world, should go get hit by a bus. No,
but I think there is a sort of element in traditional journalism of crediting a source.
Oh, so just like crediting him. Maybe.
Yeah. You know, it can be done once. It can be
not now. I'd be like, well, you can go fuck yourself now. Yeah. You're a fucking asshole.
But it's just an interesting twist, and it doesn't diminish the achievement of Kirk and Cullinane, mainly Kirk. I mean, Cullinane did fuck all for that season.
Oh,
I mean, it was so badly put together, the actual podcast. Don't you remember how bad it was, season 2?
I don't listen to the case. I can't listen to true crime podcasts.
Well, it's okay. It's probably not.
Sorry, I didn't. I don't.
Yeah, it's not doing wonders for you. Job aspirations.
Yeah. What the fuck do I?
They're defending you. But it wasn't well put together. But all I'm saying is this guy seemed to have a valid case, and I'd like to hear from Kirk and Dave if there's anything to it. Should there have been a credit in the first episode or not? Do we have a caller yet?
Caller 781.
Please call in, because I'm all taked out. See previous Manners Live.
781.
Oh, and I need to issue a retraction. An official retraction.
Hey, guys.
Sorry, go on.
Hey, guys. Freddie Lynn here.
Hey, buddy.
Frederick. Good evening, sir.
Hey, 2 things. Number 1, John, keep your chin up.
Thanks, buddy.
We're proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Literally got raped by you got raped by Kirk.
Yeah, it's okay. Rape's all right.
I know you. Hey.
Number 2.
Flip that.
Manners, I don't know if you saw it. Kirk, he retweeted a clever little tweet I saw showing all the eras of the KMS show. I was wondering, I don't know if you have the ability to bring the tweet up. It was on Kirk's account.
Hold on.
Yeah, I didn't like this,
Manners,
by the way.
Do you have any?
I didn't. Yeah.
What were your favorite eras, Manners?
Yeah, I'm not interested in this.
Oh,
I just wasn't interested. I don't even think it's right. I don't know who's divided like Big Steve into 3 years.
Freddie from an anonymous source heard about this.
Yeah, I'm not interested. I don't even think it's wrong. Like Big Steve is one era. That's it. Cullinane is one era. Like that's it. Like you can break up and then do analysis on their particular reigns of terror, but I think
you think it's really
trying to break up Big Steve into three years. I mean, get your shit together.
All right, Freddie.
So, Manners, you see no nuance, Manners, between the different. Okay, that's fine.
No. Honestly, I haven't read it. To be honest, I haven't read it.
Okay, so Manners admitted he didn't really read it. So
I just flicked through. I woke up this morning, I saw it, and thought this is boring. I'll be honest. I just thought this is boring.
I was trying to get
always on top.
You got a week when so much has happened and someone's obsessed with something they put out. It's fucking hell. Yeah.
Freddie, you got anything?
Oh, okay, let's look at the eras. Jesus Christ. I mean, it does make sense because Cullinane's.
No, John, I'm good.
So we're starting a new era.
Maybe later, John.
Okay, keep calling, buddy.
Thanks, Freddie. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a bad. I like breaking it up into more because it just makes more discussion. But I would say it breaks down to Steve, Coley, Coleman, and now it's just a scat. It's like how it's just
Justin, Steve, Cully, Coleman, Justin.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. So
Justin
the
era.
4 eras. I like to call this the new era. Everything we're rebranding. It's now the new era. No 4.0, no 5.0.
I do think we need a new name for the new Minifans, like your faxes. Like we've got we've got the OG Minifans.
I brought this up.
Got the mid-cells. I know you did.
Yeah, with third generations.
Yeah, maggots. That's the name I'm running.
I don't know what you could call them. Yeah, it's got to be something demeaning. Something mean.
So anyway, I'd like to hear Kirk answer to those allegations. I'd like to hear Kirk and Cullinane refute that they stole the case. Not that that diminishes what they did, but it does slightly.
I don't think so.
Now, I would like to also issue.
You and Cullinane weren't really best of friends. I would say, if anything, the network went into a more of a Cold War era style.
Oh, no, Cullinane's a lazy guy. Cullinane doesn't care. He only cares about himself. He's selfish, self-obsessed. Anyone thinks he's going to be anything different this time is fooling themselves. And the difference is, and Kirk said it, he will have Justin with him, so there'll be 2 producers.
Yeah. Justin cares.
The other difference is you now have control of one network. I have control of the other network, so we don't need Cullinane. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be the pretty face that he wants to be, and maybe he can help out with the case using his TikTok profile. So I just want to issue an official apology and a retraction from some comments I made on Mena's Live last night about Andy Mayo. Now, I said he had a poor performance and said some stupid things. He said some stupid things, of course, but he had a good performance. I listened to it again because, I listened to all the shows a couple of times, but I'll probably listen to the Mayo one 3, 4, 5 times. But actually, when I listened to it again, it was really good. And watching live was weird because it cut out for a while, so I didn't know what I'd missed, all sorts of stuff. But I just want to apologize. Mayo did a great performance. Sure, he asked some stupid questions. I think the 2 things that were ridiculous were Kate would be producing the show was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I mean, I don't think I've
thought about it for a second. I thought about it. No, I'm kidding. That's a very dumb take. I hate people who hate Mayo.
How would Kirk feel if he's sitting there going, women will never be in this show. Women aren't smart as men. They don't get the joke. How would he do that if his daughter's sitting in the next room? I mean, I wonder how Kate would feel if she, and I don't want, actually, I'm just going to leave that. I wonder how anyone's daughter would feel. Actually, I'll take you all into a bit of a window into my life. I forgot the other night, but my daughter was in the other room. She saw all of Mena's Live, even when I was like talking about sucking dicks and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. So it made me think. What?
Did she see the video of you doing the motion?
No, she's not on Twitter, thank God. But anyway, my point is, I think Kate being the producer was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I can't believe Justin thought that was even a possibility. And the other dumb thing Mayo said, Kirk, have you thought about making Justin produce the Blind Mike project as part of his KMS job? Like that. I don't. That is just ridiculously dumb.
Isn't this supposed to be an apology to Mayo?
Yeah, but it was still a great show. It was still a very good show.
Yeah. I love Mayo appearances. People are always like, "How could you say all this stuff?" And if they were sitting there next to Kirk, they'd be asking these dumb questions too. I like to call those Mayo questions. It's just like, "What's your favorite movie? What color do you like?" We have a caller. 804. I was probably going off on a tangent there.
Did you send Montante the link?
I didn't. Go ahead.
Can you please? I want to try and get a golf update.
I've got a question and a comment, if that's okay.
It is.
Menners.
Yes, sir.
What do you think about what people are saying about if you didn't have an accent, nobody would care about what you have to say?
Fact.
I mean, I'd like to point you to Jackson from Australia, who has an accent, is still fucking uninteresting.
Ooh.
I mean, I like Jackson a lot, but nobody cares what he has to say either.
Is this Brian?
Wow.
This is Brian from
I have a comment. Here's my comment. Menners, you're one of the low-key creeps of the world. You would love if Kate was producing. So,
all right, we're done here.
All right. Thanks, vodka.
This is Brian.
That's Brian Atkinson, Morrisville. Look him up.
Don't talk about that, Buck.
No, fuck you. Fuck him. He says ridiculously horrible things about people. He's like Ziggy Robinson.
At one point, actually, during the producer search, Kay pointed to me and said she was rooting for me. So shout out to her.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a cute guy. Girls like you. I don't know why, but they do.
You know. Also, oh no, never mind. We already talked about it.
What was it?
Shut up.
Anyway, so that's my retraction. Andy Mayo, another great performance. I'm a Mayo man. I'm part of the Mayo men. Maybe I'm president of the Mayo men committee.
Yeah.
Or the Mayos.
I'm happy you issued your apology. Everyone's hate against Mayo is bullshit. I understand actually that people hate him. He could be insufferable, and everything is about him. It's magical almost how much he could do it. As a selfish guy.
Yeah, but at the end, he was getting into some really inside show stuff, and I really liked that. I just think, unfortunately, the return of Cullinane and Mayo wasn't the best landing spot for him. There was enough there with Blind Mike, Justin, Cullinane, and Mayo was trying to get his stuff in. What are these notifications?
Oh shit! I didn't know you could hear those.
Is that Grinder? Is that what Grinder sounds like?
Yeah. That's the second time you made that joke.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it was me.
I'm gonna make a compilation. No, it was you. You're the only person I do this with. Beanbag Ron trying to say he was going to take calls after this, but then he didn't want to, I don't think. And he was like,
send him the link. See if he'll join us.
Yeah. Because
I don't know if he comes on other networks now.
A call show. And I
like Beanbag Ron. I just think he was, I think he should be part of one of the two networks rather than have his own.
You got to have a third independent party. I like that move.
That's GVE.
Comes with a lot of the, yeah, that's true. But now we have a fourth independent party.
I don't like it. Disloyal.
Look at that. You made that joke last week, Sam.
Okay, great.
Shout out Quinlan.
Was that your Uber Eats then? Was it?
No,
I think I said it was Uber Eats last week, and someone else said it was Grindr. I think Montante said it was Grindr. I think go back and check the tape.
No calls. We have facts in the background too. If you want to talk to your boy.
No, it's all right. I think everyone's had enough facts forever, especially
stay there. Maybe later.
Maybe later.
Call in. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, so I think we've hit official end of Mike and the Minifans. Well, we've already hit that, but it's official now. It's now the Minifans. Another brutal performance. Sig is terrible. Like I have to admit with Montante, like the problem is you couldn't have Sig play in the golf because he'd have to play by himself. He'd be a one man.
It's not terrible.
Like, you couldn't pair anyone with him. You could not pair anyone with him. No reasonable person could make someone play 18 holes of golf with Sig. Well, interesting point.
I know. I would play with that.
Actually, okay. So Jay and Sig. So let's come up with the worst foursome. So you've got Jay and Sig. So you've got Jay and Sig.
Yeah.
Who else?
Kane. No, you like Kane. I like
Kane. Kane's a great guy.
And yeah, you'd be a great golf partner.
I mean, Jane, Chuck Wagon. You could, if he comes, you throw him in there.
Don't say that. Wagon's.
Here we go. Defending Wagon. You all got that? Someone note that time code 124. John launches spirited defense of rapists. Okay, just noted that for future reference.
And Wagon.
Well, so far we've got Jay and Sig, so that's our. Actually, put them in the comments. We'll just get the comment. I'm gonna.
Adam, the Jew, because he yelled
yes. Adam's a great call. Absolutely fantastic call. So far we've got that's so far the three from hell.
Who's and I like Justin Duran, but the Florida drip.
That's a pretty bad force. And what about Steve from Gloucester? Good one. Yellow shirt guy.
No, yellow shirt guy would kill everyone. That'd be a horrible choice.
It'd be fun. It'd be a good way to get rid of J-Sig.
It would be easy to thin the herd. Worse force than Steve.
I think J-Sig Adam is pretty terrible. Oh, John Peltier.
No, Pelt's is the man. Getting all the bitches on the fucking course. Yeah. Well, yeah, that he comes with his wife. I've never seen him separated from his lady.
Who? John?
I can't believe you wouldn't let Fax on and you're letting all these other people on around him. Just know that that's hurtful. This has nothing to do with you, Ron. You're more than welcome on here.
Who's JP? Why does your name say JP?
Oh, my. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, why is that?
Oh, it's there's a girl in college called her name was Meg. She called me JP.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not incriminating.
313.
Oh,
313. You're on Manners Live.
313.
What's up, man? Good day, mate.
G'day.
I'm just curious to know. Do you guys think because Coley, first off, like I'm super happy Coley's back. He's my favorite producer. I think the show has been best under him. But do you think he'll start bringing in more different third chairs? I know, like under him, you know, we had a lot of different characters. It seemed like, whereas under Coleman and Justin and Gus, it was.
Dude, that era is ended, brother.
Cullinane started the era. Cullinane started the era bringing people in.
Are you all fucking brain dead? All you had to do was message Cullinane and he would bring you in. He put zero thought into it. If you were Joe the pizza guy and you sent him a message, he would just bring you in because he was lazy. He would literally look through his DMs and find the DM at the top and reply to them.
So what? He's supposed to bring in fucking Conan O'Brien? Like, what do we?
No, I'm just saying he's not some talent spotter who's bringing in, discovering these great Minifans. It's done.
No, this guy's saying he's the reverse talent spotter. He's saying he wants him to bring in random guys.
Yeah,
right?
he wants him to bring in random guys.
Yeah, right.
Do you think that?
Okay. So you want him to? Just
I don't
bring
think so.
Okay. I think he will. No, I think they
I'm
will.
saying I want to see some fresh blood. I want to see some new, yellow shirt guys come in. I want to see some diversity here.
I'll say,
listen, Montante and Beanbag. When you're in there, you're good.
Thanks,
I
man.
like Mayo. I know everyone hates him.
Fuck you,
I
Menace.
kind of like the one-off weird guy.
yeah.
No,
I'll say this, go ahead, Manners.
I think I want some regular talent in there, like Montante, Mayo, those kind of guys on a strict rotation, and then the odd person. Like, it is good to meet new Minifans.
I'm with the caller. I want to see more yellow shirt guys.
Yep, that's true.
But how do you?
You're one of them now.
How do you okay, you're gonna be perfect for Kirk to just fillet. I mean, granted, Beanbag Ron did get filleted his first time there, but he handled it well and he came back.
Thanks, John.
By the end of that show, not to mention.
Yeah, that's right. Menners, how long has it been since you've gotten laid? Like, seriously, why are you so down in the dumps?
Man,
in the dumps.
I'm not going into it, but recently.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh shit! Good for you.
Yep.
Do you call it shagging?
But English people do. So, what was your question? The second part of your question? Why am I so what?
You're so down in the dumps.
No, I'm not. Happy. I was
See,
just
even
actually,
that response like that.
I was actually thinking how happy I am at the moment. The crippling anxiety and depression has gone. I'm in my bachelor pad, busy at work. Women. I mean, no wife to drag me down and yap in my ear all the time. Like, I'm feeling fantastic. I was actually thinking how great I feel. It's weird. It's actually weird to feel good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that answers that. Tommy Quinlan said position.
It's on a quick scale.
Just focus on the happiness.
What would you say you are, Manners?
Okay, so let's go in. So I guess bottom left corner is when I did the solo Minifandom.
Okay.
And top right corner is me
right now
at the moment. Yeah.
Top right. Oh, that's flattering.
Yeah, I feel great. I finally got over the network being stolen.
No, wait, John, put that back up, please.
Gotcha.
Now, how can we get you out of the bottom left?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were this bad.
No,
I'm not there anymore. I've just said I'm
No,
not there.
John.
Oh, me?
Oh, you're in the bottom left.
No,
Yes.
I'm not. I would say I'm like something of the top left, but with his eyes more stoned, like blazed.
Yeah. You're
know?
just the same.
Just fucking the same.
Yeah.
You need a big hug, John. I know
I do.
you're hurting.
That I can
I'm
guarantee.
sorry.
You, buddy. That I
Yeah.
can guarantee you. What do we got in the comments? Jameson, always a great commenter, loves everyone.
Pretty bad.
Oh,
You're right,
yeah.
James. It was pretty bad.
That was really bad.
Oh, that was pretty low. Yeah. Wait, the call after Portland?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted everyone's destruction. Yeah. I had to just like fucking fend off Menner's attacks for the past fucking 6 months.
Unsuccessfully because you've lost. I mean,
they're
your
still
network
going.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Your network sucks. Your show sucks. I mean,
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It does.
I have your best
I've
show.
won the war.
I have your best show on my network, you dummy.
what are you talking about? It's, all of Manners Live is on the Manners Minifan network. The last 2 nights are exclusive
Okay.
to the Manners Minifan network.
It's also on my network and
B-Band Raw Network. We will be simulcasting it after.
Yeah.
No, I meant the last 2 nights.
I feel bad. You just making facts, not
what?
He's just making facts sit in the background.
Maybe can you kick him out of the studio? I don't know why he's even in the background. Make him watch like everybody else.
I mean, I can't let him in. That's your show.
Facts. You eat dinner yet? Come on.
I'm just watching the
Have
show.
some pride, Facts. Go back
I
to
did
your
a great
rotten
job.
kids. He's fine, but I mean, he's
Yeah, I thought you were the one coaching him. You're the one coaching him, and then well, I mean, granted, you said that about every show I've ever done, so I consider you a coach of mine. I'm in the Mentor's coaching tree.
Permission for a hot take
You got
here.
a caller.
Yes.
All right,
After the
we'll hold
caller
off
on
on it.
Pro tees.
619.
Pro tees.
Yes.
That's sort of shit you get on the Beanbag Run Network. Pro tees. Like that.
Sorry, you cut out. I couldn't hear you.
All right, we lost him. 619, call back in.
I cut out or the
No,
caller
caller
did?
Caller drop.
As I said, if you put the last 2 Manners Live together, you get a full show with the dropouts.
Oh, that's the last Mentor's Live was fantastic.
I don't know what
Just do it
happened
on
to
your
the internet.
network. And now you should just do it on your network and not hold me hostage and say put it on there after. Like, what the
Did
fuck
you
am
put
I-
it on there?
No, no, I'm not. I'm not uploading
No,
your
no,
show.
no. Someone sent me there was some great comments saying this is such good content. It
It
should
was
be
a
on the
good
main
comment.
channel.
It was a good comment. It should be on the main channel. He makes
Yeah.
a good point.
He does.
He makes a really good point.
So, what was your hot take, Ronald?
Okay. I thought the Mayo show was better than the Montante show. Both good, but I can't get enough of Mayo.
I love Mayo.
It fucking cracks me up. But Montante was really good too. I just think Mayo in there.
Yeah,
It's funny that he's not self-aware enough to know that we want him to read his questions when he tries to back down from that. That's my
It's not the self-awareness, it's the anxiety. It's the crippling anxiety that gets to him. He's so in his own head. You know, he went in there and he wanted to try and be Kirk. He said, I'm just going to hang with the boys this time. And Mayo ain't hanging with the boys. That ain't Mayo.
No,
Mayo
no.
got to just go in with his 100 questions and be annoying. But he tried to be something he wasn't. And that was the problem. And why he tried to be something he wasn't? Because he overthought something. Trust me,
that's the best.
Mayo syndrome.
Oh, but the real Mayo creeps right back in, and it was
It's like
glorious.
how atom bombs work. Once that first one breaks the atom, and then the other one breaks an atom, and then they're all breaking each other. That's how Mayo's brain works. It's
I
like
don't know if it was better than the Montante show. I mean, that Montante show was
it was great. I love
fantastic.
Montante.
And seeing Montante, I still cannot get over his leg. Did you see his leg just fucking going the whole time they were talking about the golf? He was so nervous. He was feeling under so much pressure. Go back and watch the tape. He's like got this
Zoom.
restless
It's
leg the whole
zooming.
time.
It's
It was-
zooming. It's like it's zooming.
I have secondary anxiety thinking about that, organizing that. It's going to be a disaster, but yeah, I mean, Kirk said he'll show up, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
That's Adderall, Menners. No, that's nerves and Adderall.
And Adderall. Yeah.
You should take some CBD or something just to calm down a little bit. But yeah, I think the Montante show was one of the funniest we've had in a while. And you can criticize Montante, but he's a great idiot. Like, he plays that role so well.
Oh yeah, no criticism from me. Another guy. You just like the authenticity.
Mayo probably went right into his head though after everybody chirping him after this last one. But that happens after every Mayo episode. You know,
were people chirping him?
Yeah, yeah. Internationally hated.
Yeah,
like,
man has some real haters. Tim and
no
Ken,
one gets hated like Mayo. Yeah, when Tim is just hating you, it's like there will be people that hate Mayo just because Tim hates Mayo.
So, Ron, asking for your input on this. So I think we found it actually. Worst foursome: Jay, Sig, Adam from New Jersey, and Mayo. That would be a terrible foursome.
Oh, me.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. But I don't really know Adam in Jersey. I know he's a nice guy, but
he's annoying.
Gus is up there.
I only brought up Gus because
I played with Gus.
Yeah,
I played with Gus, and it was something else, man. I had to.
Gus is something else.
Okay, so Gus, Jay, Sig, Adam. I reckon that's a great, and it works for Adam because if they play on a Friday, has to walk anyway.
Jay and Gus would be tough.
It is a Friday, so they have to walk, which would be good. I'd like to see Jay and Sig walking.
Yesterday at like 8 o'clock, I got a text from just a number I don't have, just saying, "Is everything set up for tomorrow?" And I'm like, "What?" And it was Gus. I find out, and apparently, like, that's when he reached out to me to say, "Is everything set up for this all day long golf tour I want to go on?" So
he never reached out to you with the details.
I mean, I assumed he reached out to Justin. I mean, he did everything himself. He didn't have to, but it's crazy to just reach out when he did.
Gus reached out to me about this, by the way, like a week ago. He said, "Hey, what do you use when you live stream your tree work?" I said, "I've never done that before." He said, "Oh, so I'm thinking about doing a golf thing."
That's so funny. That's he, like, not only did I like he messaged me late, he messaged me from a number I didn't have. Like, it was just all Gus.
Yes, he got a new phone.
And I was like, why is Gus just so Gus? Like, he's just Gus.
He's kind of gone away, though. We haven't heard Gus's name.
Yeah, he's been quiet, but I mean, I think there was a reason.
What happened today? Was it successful? Because obviously I was asleep when it was going on.
People said it was a waste of time, and Gus is a waste of time. But I mean, he went out and did something all day long for the network. I can't hold that against him.
And he's got sponsors too. He promoted his sponsors to me when he reached out about the
good for him.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Gus. All he wants is just to be able to tweet out sponsors.
That's him trying to be Jersey Jerry, isn't it? Like that's him just waving his arms. What?
It's just him like wanting to. That's the I want to work for Barstool in him.
So imagine how he's feeling when he watches the Unnamed show and Mutt's getting the thing he is so desperate for.
Gus had a shot.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, Dave Portnoy's begging Mutt, and if Gus were on that call, he'd be on a plane to Chicago as quick as you can say Chicago.
But you saw,
hey, Menners, I'll give you a little insight. I don't think Gus watched that show.
No,
because he knew he wasn't going to be mentioned.
Oh, wow. Damn, Ron. I will say this. You did see Portnoy just look at him like a forbidden fruit, though, by acting that way. So there was a little method to Mutt's madness. That was a hard sentence. 3 M's. Method to Mutt's madness.
But but he also did say, there's an Aussie supporting me for the next piece. Anyway, he did.
What the fuck was that?
I'm just getting a message. So what was the?
You just sneeze? Bless you.
No, I got a question that someone's reading Twitter. I was tweeting out the nightmare foursome. So what was your question, by the way?
Manners hasn't been paying attention the last 20 minutes, dude.
No. What was the last question?
Ron doesn't remember.
Did I ask something?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Remembers that question.
Go back on the tape. Could someone in the chat tell me what the question was? Oh, yes, actually. So, yes, I think everybody should unsubscribe to Muttstack. I think we're enabling him So yeah, we were talking about Mutt and the job and everything. So I think there's an end point to
so
that.
mean.
Though. Like he goes like because Portnoy said at the end, yeah, but now if you come, I'm going to make your life a living hell for a while. Like there's going to be a reckoning because he snubbed him the first time, which I think is fine. I think Mutt can take that. He took it. Like people don't forget. Like Kirk used to just nail Mutt at EEI. So whatever Portnoy does will be mild. But yeah, there is an end point to that where Portnoy does forget about you, and in 3 months there might not be a job for him. There absolutely might not be a job for him.
Oh, no. I was going to say Portnoy's going to hire him and then forget he even said he was going to rip him.
Well,
or he's going to rip him once, and then that's going to be
it up on that show. It's like 6 months from now, the job offer might still be on the table, but now you're like a whipping boy. Now you're my little whipping boy. Like you didn't take the offer when I offered it, and you came scurrying back.
So I think unsubscribe from Muttstack. You'd be doing him and his family a favor because he's got some delusion that he's got a future there. So I would urge every Minifan out there, unsubscribe.
Disavow.
I think everybody should tweet at Mohegan Sun free Mutt. I think that should be relentless.
That's been my first question to that guy. It's like, were you text that Eton or whatever the fuck guy? Like, were you texting Mutt being like, dude, you got to take this job? Because if you weren't, you're a fucking asshole. Right?
But as I just, Kirk said, or somebody said on the Unnamed show, Mohegan Sun should let Mutt go. And I agree, but Mutt's got to have the call. They can't call him. Mutt's got to call them and say, hey, I've been offered a full-time job. I need to feed my family.
Yeah. Yes.
This wasn't on the table when I agreed to do this show. Can we work this out? But
well, the irony about it too is that if he goes with Barstool, they have like free reign at Foxwoods, so he can go like do whatever he wants there, literally.
Is it Foxwoods? They have free reign. I don't know the way.
Because they have DraftKings.
Anyway, I don't know all that, but the point is, it's just to fuck Mutt. So you'd be doing him a favor. Unsubscribe to Muttstack. Tweet Mohegan Sun. Make their Twitter aware that they are holding Mutt hostage. They're holding Mutt's kids hostage.
Why he didn't tell Kirk about this the whole time is beyond me. That's just
imagine what the Vikings thinking.
Oh yeah, if your dad finds out, you can't like look a man in the face and tell him the Viking.
This went through all of basketball season too, and he knew he was doing this. I feel betrayed.
That is betrayal. You're just doing something to someone's fate. Like that's not being a man.
And it is disloyal to Kirk.
Like
so he's saying basically Mutt's loyalty is to some shitty casino over Kirk, who's literally done everything for him. Mutt was nothing until Kirk and Callahan. Mutt was nothing when he left EEI. Now he's got a chance at Barstool, all to do with Kirk. Since Mutt left EEI, Kirk has been helping Mutt out, despite Mutt not wanting it. It's a goddamn shame. That's what it is. It's a goddamn shame. That's what John's called.
LB33, tweeze the brows. Okay.
No, John, you turned the camera off, but you didn't finish the code.
I didn't mean to turn it. I accidentally
right.
Space bar.
Sorry.
My bad.
Who would have thought you'd be that considerate?
No, fuck you.
Any callers, John? I like this.
I'm done at that.
Any callers?
No, nothing.
Oh, come on, call up, please.
Well,
I'd love to hear from the Minifans. Do you think they'll go back to taking calls now that David Edward Cullinane is back?
I would like to see him go back to taking calls anyways.
Yeah, me too. I was so delighted when we took calls when I was in there.
Like, I get it. He made his point about not taking calls for a while, but there is a certain bit of the show that we're missing because callers aren't there, no matter how bad the first fucking 6 are.
Yeah, but there's another thing too, that Cullinane's back, so that's like another guy who's good on mic. So it's kind of
that's very true.
It might keep him.
Let's just remember that he's not that great on mic. Like he's good in short dose. Don't you remember how?
I loved it though.
But don't you remember, however, when Kirk actually tried to have a discussion with him, Cullinane would have nothing. It was always just he'd throw out something stupid. There was never anything to back it up. He's vacuous. He has no depth. He can laugh and he can make some jokes, but I think you guys are looking through this whole thing with rose-colored glasses. I mean, you guys are kidding yourself. You're delusional. Like, are you back on the juice?
Are you on the juice?
No, he was by himself. Remember, Now he's with Justin.
Oh, okay. So you think he's all of a sudden going to come in with well thought out arguments and stuff?
No, but I think the conversations will flow easier now that there's two people back there instead of one, dummy.
I think you're kidding yourself. He'll be fine.
Hey, time will tell.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
Good platitude there.
Something we can all
I'm a real boring broadcaster. That's what you get at the Beanbag Run Network.
Well, you know what, dude? Time will tell. Time will
tell.
I do hate when people say that.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Fuck.
All right, John. Jesus.
That is
Christ.
actually one of the that's an old way to end a story.
A good way to end a story. Yeah, it's a smart way to end a story. You know what,
well,
dude? Time will tell.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've come to the end of this Manners Live since there are no more callers.
Good calls tonight, though.
Yeah, great calls, great show. John, I'm so sorry for the way you've been treated. We'll just give them a couple of minutes while we're winding this up. If you want to put a question in the chat, we'll be answering them for the next couple of minutes.
770.
Shout out Scott from Ropes R Us.
Go ahead. Scott. Thanks, Scott. Go ahead, caller.
Surprised Quinlan hasn't called in yet.
Go ahead, caller. 5.
Is Fax still there?
3. He is a 2.
Don't bring him in. Don't bring him in. I just wanted to know.
Hi, Fax.
1.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Come on. That was so mean. He doesn't even know what happened.
I wish he'd been jerking off or something.
Oh, that'd be weird. Because he would have known that I could see it. It'd be real weird.
It's an army thing.
You got another caller, 718.
Ooh, the great state of Nebraska.
I'm better than Beetlejuice. You don't have to say my name more than 3 times for you to get my attention.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's go through the questions. Thanks, caller. Jackson from Australia. Ron, are we getting a new test show tonight?
Sure are.
Great. Jamison. John, do you know what neonatal abstinence syndrome is?
You need something in your mouth all the time.
Okay. LB33. If I wear underwear, do I sit when I poo?
How did you know that?
Because I have it.
Really? Manners, you can live in South Boston with me, cheap rent, but I'm not running across the country with you. Well, Kane's offered to give me his place. So it's quite a few options.
That's not bad.
So Mike, stay with Kane?
No, he was going to move out to his parents and give me his place.
Oh, cool.
That's how we roll on the Men's Minifan Network. Do anything for each other.
Fuck yeah.
Mike B, no way any chick has
offered me their homes. Do you want me to?
The thing is, Mike, you know what's amazing is
I'm not Mike.
There's a lot of women out there and not a lot of men. And if you can hold a conversation with a woman, you are in.
So actually a very good call. That's actually.
Oh, wait. Yes.
Don't be awkward. Yes, Ron.
Yeah, you just make them laugh. That's how I got mine.
That's huge. Wow, Brian.
Jackson from Australia. Why does everybody hate facts? I don't hate facts.
I don't hate facts.
No.
There it is.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning into Manners Live. I want to thank all the commenters: Brian Atkinson, Mike B, Hostage Take Curtis, 29, Don the Jeweler. Thank you, Don. You're going to be blocked forever, so stop asking me. I'm just want to make that clear, Don. Or Red or Ziggy or whoever you are or whichever conglomeration you are, Don, you are never being unblocked. Just it's sad you keep asking me. If you want to see my tweets, open a burner. You can get all the stupid clips you want. Thank you, MST Park. Thank you, LB33. Thank you, Tommy Quinlan. Thank you, Boner Jams. See, Boner Jams is one of those guys I know deep down loves me. He's that kind of guy. Like I'm sure there's DMs in the past. If I went back 4 or 5 years ago about how much he likes me, and I probably ignored it, and then he got upset. I know the way it works. But thank you, Boner. I know you're a big fan. It's people like you that
he's a good guy.
Why I do this. Roscoe, better than it used to be. Freddie Lynn, so many great viewers. So that's it from me. John, close this down. Ron, go fuck yourself.
Love you too.
It's Late Night with Mad Manners. I'm your host. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Manners till midnight. I will be taking your calls. I am also still alive. I haven't been fucked to death by koalas. So